Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. My name is Tom Cockcroft from CoupleCore Coaching, and today is the lesson of communication issues and how to recognize them and how, most importantly, to resolve these communication issues. Now, communication issues are one of the most common problems that people have within their marriages or relationships, and it is such an easy trap to fall into. But we are going to discuss the signs of them appearing and how to identify them, and most importantly how to fix them and to resolve them. And of course, if any of these slides are helpful for you, then make sure you leave that thumbs up button in the description. Let's get on with it, shall we? So let's talk about communication issues. So communication issues are one of the most common problems in a relationship, and they can lead to misunderstandings, arguments, and emotional distance. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably having some communication issues yourself, and you could be having one of these symptoms in your relationship. And yes, I do say that they are so easy to happen, and believe me, you are not alone. Every single relationship will have this at some point in their relationship. So what are the common types of communication problems? Well, we've got the lack of communication, i.e. you're just not talking to each other enough. You might not have, real life might get busy, you just might not be seeing each other, a fat lot, so you're not really communicating. You don't really know what's going on in each other's lives. Again, it happens. The world's a busy place. Miscommunication, again, just as effective in a bad way. You could be talking, but wrong end of the sticks could be coming up. If you're talking a lot on WhatsApp, context could get misread. People could appear to be stressed when they're not, or having a go when they're not. Can lead to a lot of problems, which can then lead to criticism and blame. Now, these are one of the fundamentals of an argument, which I will be covering in another lesson. But ideally, if you're not communicating very well, is that it's going to lead to arguments which do cause criticism and blame. Not active listening. And what do I mean by not active listening? So active listening is essentially where you're not just hearing them. You're not hearing the words whilst you're playing on your phone and all that. You are actively listening to what they say, understanding the points that are coming out of their mouth and taking it on board. And finally, defensive responses. Now that sort of goes hand in hand, like I said, the fundamentals of an argument. Defensive responsiveness, when the criticism and blame comes, you're not making enough effort on your communication, etc., etc., etc. Defensive responses come in, which is one of the fundamentals of the arguments, which I do come into on another lesson. So what are the effects of poor communication? What can it lead to? Well, it can lead to resentment, emotional withdrawal, frequent arguments, and loss of trust and intimacy. Exactly. That is how much damaging effects just poor communication can have on a relationship. And this is why I feel like it is one of the most fundamental problems in a marriage, because it is so easy to get into and yet have such a strong impact, which then in turn leads to a lot of other different fights. So that's why this one is such an important one. But more importantly, we're going to get onto, if you're watching this video, then well done you for taking positive action towards your relationship. And I certainly hope these lessons do help you. My name is Tom Cockcroft, the founder of CoupleCore Coaching. I am officially an accredited relationship coach by the Coaching Masters and International Coaching Federation. And if at any point you enjoy the videos, then please feel free to like the channel, hit the subscription and ring that notification bell, because I promise you, we are going to help you get to the bottom of saving your relationship and giving a better relationship for you. Thank you very much. How to resolve communication issues. Now, as we said, opposites, we're going to practice active listening today. And remember what I said, this is not about just hearing what someone said and going, yeah, No, this is where you are listening to the words, you're trying to understand the point and their feelings about where their point of view comes from, embracing it, accepting it. You need to have a lot of emotional maturity when you do this active listening. Maybe put your phone away, put down those distractions, and really listen to what they are saying. Use I statements instead of blame. Again, this comes into how to sort of try to lean away from your arguments of the criticism and contempt that you might want to throw at each other, and say, you need to stop playing on your phone and pay attention to me. I feel like we're not having a great conversation at the moment because of the phone in your hand. And then that triggers the automatic response of, okay, that's the problem. That is the problem. It's because my phone's in my hand. I'll put it down and I'll pay attention. Again, such an easy thing, but it's such an easy thing we take for granted and we don't do. Now, big one. Take breaks during heated arguments. Exactly. Now, that's the thing. Communication is important, but if you're both riled up, your heart rate's elevated, you're sort of in the fight or flight and you're having a big old row, take a break. Take a break. Because if you've not got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. Sometimes it's best just to go away, calm yourselves down, and return when you are both calm. Focus on understanding your partner's point of view. Now, this is where you have to really dig into your emotional maturity on this one and really understand their perspective of the argument. We'll take the phone in hand sort of argument. It's like, that the partner is not feeling valued as to your phone, and that's hurting their feelings. But on the other end of the spectrum, you could be waiting for a really important call. You could be dealing with something very important. It depends on the situation at the time. And this is for both parties of the relationship to do, is try and understand the point of view and come to that what's the word I'm looking for? That middle ground. You know what I mean? Schedule regular check-ins to discuss feelings. Exactly. Now, life does get certainly very busy. In relationships, you might have children, you might have both be working, you might be working on different times, like day shift, night shift, so you might not see each other a hell of a lot. But scheduling those regular check-ins, to communicate, find out how they're feeling, what's going on in their life, keep up to date. It will show your partner that you care. It will show them that you're loved and they're valued. And that is, again, just such a powerful tool. And again, you'll notice that all these are very easy, but we take them for granted, and we all do it, ladies and gentlemen. So don't feel like you're alone, and don't feel, but that's so easy. Put those practices into effect, because they will work. So, tips for better communication. Set aside time for undistracted conversations. That's right, as I said before, life gets busy, children, work, other things in life going on, but you have to set aside time for each other. It could be dinner, have a dinner together. It could be just sit outside in the garden or sit in a quiet room and just be like, let's have a conversation and really get to know each other. I know you want to, you might want to play on your game, or I know you might want to go on the phone to your friends, but this is like, we have to put aside this time to really get in each other's lives and have a good conversation to find out what's going on. Be mindful of your body language. Yes. Now you might think, what's that got to do with it? We're at home, we're relaxed, but guess what? If you are always withdrawn, phone in hand, not paying attention, or just don't look interested in the conversation, the other people see it. The other partner will see it, and they will call you up on it, and it will make them feel like you're not interested. So just be mindful of it. Ask questions to clarify rather than assume. Exactly. Again, another thing that happens a lot in relationships is assumptions are made too easily. I feel like I don't really need to explain this one. It is as simple as that. Assumptions are made too easily, and don't be afraid just to say, sorry, can you just clarify that this is what you mean? Because I do not want to assume. Even if you just say that, it's like, well, at least you're being mindful. You want to check what I'm actually saying rather than just assume that's what I was saying, because it's always best, because that way you're going to sort of try and turn the tide away from miscommunication. Show empathy and acknowledge your partner's feelings. At the end of the day, you love each other, you care for each other, you are life partners, and it is something so bloody beautiful that you are planning to grow old together and live your lives together. You have to have that empathy, and you've got to acknowledge your partner's feelings, because you're both equal in your feelings. You need to share that bad boy. Practice patience and avoid jumping to conclusions. Conclusions. Yes, we have to practice patience. Patience is an absolute golden nugget in the old relationship game. You must have patience. You must deal with, you have a partner, you spend a lot of time together. They do, partners fight. Everyone fights, and fights will continue to happen, don't get me wrong, but it's how we handle them and how we, improve our patience, try not to jump to conclusions. And like I said, I will be releasing a video on the constructs of arguments and how to really sort of avoid them in later lessons. But absolutely make sure you apply these tips into your personal personas and include them into your relationship, because it is absolutely fundamental. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. That was communications issues, how to recognize and resolve them. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Tom Cockrell. I am the founder of CoupleCore Coaching. If you have any questions throughout any of the slides that I've mentioned, or you have input that you want to share, feel free to leave it in the comments, or you can drop it in my emails. Well, I've left my email on the slides periodically. It's down in the description. It's my email address, along with my social media handles. If you want to check out my channels, we've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc., etc., etc. Feel free to drop that in the comments. Feel free to check them out. Get hold of me. Please do share your experience. If you do need help, recognize the signs and get on top of them. Save your relationship, because your relationship is bloody beautiful, and we need more of it in the future. Thank you very much.